Good evening. This is a regularly scheduled meeting, Kettering City Council. Today's date is June the 8th, and as always, we'll begin with a Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Boy, it feels good to be back in our regular seats, and I don't have to figure out where anybody's sitting in the audience to call on them. So, welcome to the old normal, I guess. Before we start tonight's meeting, we'll pause for a brief invocation. Dear Lord, thank you for all who serve the Kettering community. Give us enthusiasm for our work and wisdom to make the right decisions. May we remain humble and grateful for the opportunity to lead. Guide this council so we may continue to serve our citizens with integrity and purpose, always remembering to be worthy of these responsibilities entrusted in us by our residents. Next, we'll move on to approval of the minutes, May 25th, 2021, council and workshop minutes. Mr. Lauder.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have reviewed the minutes from both the council meeting and workshop held on May 25th. I find both in order, and therefore I move for their approval.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Being none, call the roll, please.
Mr. Lauder?
Yes.
Mrs. Fisher?
Yes.
Mr. Duke?
Yes.
Mr. Wanamaker?
Yes.
Mr. Klepass?
Yes.
Mayor Patterson?
Yes, moving on to proclamations and presentations. First one, proclamation, Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. Vice Mayor Klepass.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have a proclamation this evening. Whereas this year, approximately 191,930 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in the United States alone every year, and roughly 33,330 will die this year from this disease. And whereas in Ohio, an estimated 9,010 new cases of prostate cancer will be diagnosed, and an estimated 2,000 deaths will occur in 2021. And whereas men with relatives, father, brother, son, with a history of prostate cancer are twice as likely to develop this disease. And whereas prostate cancer is the second leading cause of cancer death in American men, behind lung cancer. And whereas men who served in the military, who have been exposed to chemicals and herbicides, are at a higher risk for developing prostate cancer. And whereas 1 in 9 men are diagnosed with prostate cancer in his lifetime, African American men are at the highest risk for this disease, with the rate of 1 in 6, and 2.2 times more likely to die from this disease. And whereas education regarding prostate cancer and early detection strategies are critical to saving lives and preserving and protecting our families. Prostate cancer is estimated to cost over $8 billion in direct medical expenditures. And whereas nearly 3.1 million men in the United States are living with a prostate cancer diagnosis, that number is estimated to climb to 4 million by 2024 as men in the baby boomer generation age. Now, therefore, Donald E. Patterson, Mayor of the City of Kettering, Ohio, on behalf of City Council and the community, and does hereby proclaim June 2021 to be Prostate Cancer Awareness Month in the City of Kettering, Ohio, and urges all citizens to increase the importance of prostate screening. Signed this 8th day of June, 2021, Donald E. Patterson, Mayor of the City of Kettering, Ohio.
Thank you, Mr. Klepass. Next, we'll move on to a proclamation denouncing racism. Ms. Fisher.
Your Honor, I have a proclamation. Whereas the Kettering City Council establishes the Kettering Board of Community Relations in 1969 with the mission of formulating and developing community inclusiveness, diversity, fair housing, and positive intergroup interactions within the city and the surrounding region. And whereas the Board of Community Relations encompasses a group of community volunteers, front row, who are dedicated to promoting and encouraging the creation and maintenance of an inclusive community by fostering equal opportunities and respect for all persons. And whereas the Kettering Board of Community Relations has recommended the following statement for adoption by this proclamation, and therefore, the City Council hereby proclaims, Kettering is home to people with varying backgrounds, incomes, religions, ethnicities, ages, and experiences. It is a community that strives to be a welcoming place where everyone feels valued. The City of Kettering denounces racism in all of its forms. Beyond merely acknowledging the history and existence of racism in the United States, we continue to focus on strengthening equality in our local institutions, policies, and programs. We affirm a commitment to anti-racism, fairness, and justice for all of our citizens, neighbors, and visitors. And it is witnessed by not only our mayor, but every single person up here in the City Council has signed this proclamation.
Thank you, Ms. Fisher. And Tawana Jones, Chairperson of Board of Community Relations, will be accepting the proclamation. Come on up.
Thank you. Again, my name is Tawana Jones, and I'm the current chair for the Board of Community Relations. And I wanted to recognize some other members of the BCR who are here tonight. And that includes Lisa Duval, Bill Shearhart, Gwen Owen, and then those members not present tonight, Elam Dasa, Frank Eckler, Jill Hall-Smith, and Kathy Spoggy. I wanted to thank the members of board, BCR for being here and for their dedication as a volunteer board. I also want to thank City Council for adopting this proclamation tonight, and especially to our BCR Council Liaison, Jackie Fisher, for her diligence to our board and its mission. Finally, I want to acknowledge and submit our appreciation to Kettering City staff, especially Angela Brown and Andrea Perkins, for their guidance, especially during the months when we continued to meet virtually, and they made sure we stayed on task. We look forward very much to meeting in person and moving forward with some of the initiatives that we're hoping to start now that we have the proclamation in place. We are really looking to look at initiatives that further diversity, equity, and inclusion, and hopefully we'll come back in the near future to council and talk about what some of those initiatives have been. Again, thank you so much for your proclamation tonight and for your continued support of BCR. Thanks.
Thank you for all the work that you did on that, and we look forward to the work you have yet to do. So thank you. Appreciate it. Next, we have a presentation, Gatorade Play It Forward. Mary Beth Thaman, Director of Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Arts Department. Odell.
Another name.
It's hard. I know better.
It's okay. We are neighbors, Mayor.
Mary Beth
Thank you very
Odell.
much. We'll be right back. Good evening. Mary Beth Odell, Director of Parks,
Nice to meet
Recreation,
you.
Cultural Arts for the City of Kettering, as well as the Secretary for the Kettering Park Foundation. Very happy to be here representing the Kettering Park Foundation. That's why you got it wrong tonight, Mayor. You're representing the wrong organization, I guess. Anyway, I want to preface this by this presentation probably should have been done in April of 2020, but because of COVID, clearly we've had to delay it a little bit, but I'm honored to represent the Kettering Park Foundation because we were the recipient of a $1,000 grant from the 2020 Gatorade Ohio Basketball Player of the Year, Madeline Westbeld. The Gatorade Play It Forward initiative works in conjunction with the Gatorade Player of the Year program to empower student athletes to provide resources to sports organizations in their community. Madeline's gift will provide 1,000 Kettering kids the opportunity to participate in open gym at the Kettering Recreation Complex from September 7th through December 17th. Her entire family is here, including Madeline is here today, so I'd like to invite Madeline, Susan, Jim, Adam, Ben, Kathleen, down to the podium, please. Anyone else would like to come down representing the Westbells?
You're going like a midget.
Oh, and Amanda's not here, but I will talk about her as well. Yeah, and her daughter. So Madeline, don't be too embarrassed. Your mom wrote this a bio, and I have the privilege to talk about great things about Madeline, and thank you, Susan, for sending it to me. Madeline Westbeld is a daughter of James and Susan Westbeld of Kettering, Ohio. She has received many, many awards, most recently from the University of Notre Dame, 2021 WBCA All-American Regional Finalist, 2021 ACC Rookie of the Year Head Coaches, 2021 First Team All-ACC, 2021 ACC All-Freshman Team, 2021 All-Academic Team, two-time ACC Rookie of the Week, December 7th, 2020, and January 3rd, 2021, 2020 ACC Newcomer Watch List, and Ohio Miss Basketball. She was the only basketball player in the state of Ohio, male or female, to be selected as McDonald's All-American for 2020. Madeline, you did a lot during COVID. I'm telling you what, great job. She is an unbelievable teammate, friend, and especially sister to her two brothers, Adam and Ben, and two sisters, Amanda and Catherine, who all have guided her, loved her, and inspired her through her life. Madeline is a young and remarkable, has a young and remarkable character. She loves others and is selfless, putting others before herself. She is one of the hardest workers you will find. She is passionate about whatever she chooses to do and does the right thing. She doesn't complain, and when she sees something wrong, she does what she can to discuss the problem and come up with a solution. She is intelligent and truly thinks about things and how to make things better, especially how to make the world better. She won't tolerate gossip and gently puts her hand up for that person to stop. She takes charge. She is a leader. She is not afraid to speak her mind and does so calmly in a way that commands respect and is not confrontational. She knows what she wants and is decisive and goes after it. She is a peacemaker and has been told that by many. Her presence is gentle and calming, unless she's playing basketball against you. She shares so much about others. When asked of her dad to describe her, he said, "She's pretty." A graduate from Fairmont High School, Madeline attends and plays basketball for the University of Notre Dame, where her sister Catherine graduated after winning a national championship in women's basketball. Catherine also won a state championship with her team from Fairmont in 2014. Madeline is getting ready to travel to Hungary for USA Basketball. She was born and raised in Kettering, Ohio, and wants to give back to her city. She truly cares about the future of kids and adults, and often thinking about discussing how she can improve lives. She has come up with an idea and plans to develop a charity which help the homeless and those in poverty so they may be able to help themselves and be successful. Congratulations, Madeline, our Ohio 2020 Gatorade Ohio Basketball Player of the Year and recipient of the Play It Forward grant. And we have a photo op, and what is,
Yes.
Come on down, neighbors. Oh, you're gonna read some? Go ahead. I didn't embarrass you. No. Okay, so we're gonna have a photo op right now, so guys all come back. Right?
Stick you between the two girls, man. That is awesome.
There's some big people there.
I know. It's a tall family. I'm surprised. I didn't realize she was taller than Catherine.
She is, yeah.
I didn't realize.
She's got her by the inches.
One more with the big.
Yeah, he used to go over there with me back in the heyday, yeah. When they were on the year they won the state championship.
Yeah, well, they had that 4-year run. 4 state finals, yeah. Well, 3 finals and 1 semifinal game.
Well, they had some players too, gee.
Somebody give them the hint they're allowed to leave.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's the first picture we've taken in a year that we haven't had a mask on or something. So people will actually know that we smiled. They had to take our word for it prior to that. But thank you all for coming. Thank you for bringing recognition to this city. We wish you the best in your future. And I think the thing that I enjoyed hearing, the most was the fact that you wanted to give back. And you're always welcome to give back and come back. So thank you. Appreciate it all to the entire family. So thank you. All right, next we'll move on to public hearings. We have none, so we have public comment on legislation. Anyone wishing to speak before council with comments or new information about legislation on tonight's agenda may do so at this time. Each speaker is limited to 5 minutes. Speakers must state their name and address. Comments should be addressed to council. If you have comments that are not about legislation on tonight's agenda, there will be an opportunity for those to be heard later in the meeting. Is there anyone like to speak before council regarding items on the agenda this evening? Being none, we'll move on to ordinances in first reading. Vice Mayor Klepas. Resolution.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have a resolution authorizing the city manager to accept and administer a $1,000 grant from the Kettering Parks Foundation. The estimated cost is $1,000. The amount budgeted is $0. It's requested by Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Arts Department. I move for approval.
Second.
Mr. Schwederman.
Thank you, Your Honor. I don't think that I could add anything to that impressive presentation, but this resolution formally accepts the funds from the Kettering Parks Foundation. Be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions of Mr. Schwederman? Being none, call the roll, please.
Mr. Klepas?
Yes.
Mr. Lauder?
Yes.
Mrs. Fisher?
Yes.
Mr. Duke?
Yes.
Mr. Wanamaker?
Yes.
Mayor Patterson?
Yes.
Your Honor, I have a resolution authorizing the city manager to apply for a Community Housing Improvement Program grant from the Ohio Development Services Agency. This is being requested by our Planning and Development Department, and I move for approval.
Second.
Mr. Roblard.
Thank you, Your Honor. This application will allow the City of Kettering to access home funds, which we previously were getting through a consortium with the City of Dayton, but now we will be able to get them through the state of Ohio through their Community Housing Improvement Program, or CHIP. We expect to receive $250,000 over a 2-year period. Our plans are to use that funds for program administration, down payment and closing cost assistance, and new construction, working with Habitat for Humanity. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions of Mr. Roblard? Being none, call the roll, please.
Mr. Lauder?
Yes.
Mrs. Fisher?
Yes.
Mr. Duke?
Yes.
Mr. Wanamaker?
Yes.
Mr. Klepas?
Yes.
Mayor Patterson?
Yes.
Your Honor, I have a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into agreements with the Ohio Department of Transportation to allow the City of Kettering to serve as a responsible lead agency for administration of the Denouncing Court Bridge Rehabilitation Project. That is City Project Number 03-924A, ODOT Project Number MOT Denouncing Court Bridge Rehab PID 114100. And it is requested by the Engineering Department, and I move for approval.
Second.
Mr. Bergstresser.
Thank you, Your Honor. As stated, this resolution will authorize the city to enter an agreement with ODOT for us to be the responsible lead agency for the Danube Court Bridge Rehabilitation Project. The proposed project will replace the existing bridge superstructure and other related work to that effort. ODOT recently awarded approximately $672,000 in municipal bridge program funding for construction of this project starting in spring of 2024. The total estimated cost of the project is approximately $774,000, which includes engineering, right-of-way, and construction. Be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions of Mr. Bergstresser? Being none, call the roll, please.
Mrs. Fisher?
Yes.
Mr. Duke?
Yes.
Mr. Wanamaker?
Yes.
Mr. Klepass?
Yes.
Mr. Lauder?
Yes.
Mayor Patterson?
Yes.
Your Honor, I have a resolution to make supplemental appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Kettering, State of Ohio, during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2021, from the Special Grants Fund, $1,000. Estimated cost is the same. It is not budgeted. Special Grants and Programs Fund requested by the Finance Department. I move for approval.
Second.
Mr. Schwederman.
Thank you, Your Honor. This resolution will appropriate the $1,000 donation from the Kettering Parks Foundation through the generous donation of Madeline Westbeld, the Ohio Gatorade Player of the Year in 2020. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions of Mr. Schwederman? Being none, call the roll, please.
Mr. Duke?
Yes.
Mr. Wanamaker?
Yes.
Mr. Klepass?
Yes.
Mr. Lauder?
Yes.
Mrs. Fisher?
Yes.
Mayor Patterson?
Yes. Moving on to ordinances in first reading, we have none. Certifications and petitions. Ms. Kozinski.
Your Honor, we do not have any certifications or petitions this evening.
Thank you. City Manager Report and Community Update. Mr. Schwederman.
Thank you, Your Honor. It is with great honor that I pass the duties of the community information update for you tonight over to my esteemed colleague, Greg Gorsuch, who has served this city well. And I've enjoyed his friendship and working with him over the last many years. And tonight, I think he should have the joy of the community update before his end of his last council meeting.
Mr. Gorsuch.
Mr. Schwederman, that would be
Judge
my pleasure,
Gorsuch.
my friend. It's going warm outside and time for block parties. A block party is a great way to meet your neighbors and get reacquainted with your neighbors after the COVID situation. To download a block party request form, residents can visit the city's website at ketteringoh.org or call the engineering department at 296-2436. Summer camps, we have some additional space available for our 2021 summer camps. For more information on that and learn how to register, you can visit playkettering.org/camps. We are looking for volunteers to join the Phrase Pavilion volunteer team. The requirements are pretty simple. You must be 18 years of age or older. To learn more, you can visit ketteringoh.org to complete a volunteer application or simply call 296-2433. The City of Kettering offers numerous resources for older residents who need assistance. We are excited to add our Ask a Nurse program to that list. Each Wednesday from 9 a.m. to noon, a registered nurse will be available at the Kettering Connection and Town and Country Shopping Center to answer questions and provide blood pressure screenings. We give thanks to River Oaks Alzheimer's Special Care Center for their community partnership in providing a registered nurse to help our Kettering seniors. For assistance with this, you can email Vicki Caraher at the email address on the screen, or simply call 296-3356. After a year off, the Kettering Leadership Academy is back in action. Applications are now available for Kettering Leadership Academy. Those applications can be found at ketteringoh.org. Coming to the Phrase, we have some exciting announcements coming for the Phrase Pavilion. Sticks will be there Friday, July 23rd. Casting Crowns will be in the house on Wednesday, July 28th. Daughtry will be at Phrase Saturday, July 31st. Tickets to all events at the Phrase Pavilion can be purchased at the Phrase Fanfare store located in Town and Country, or at phrase.com, etix.com, or charged by phone at 1-800-514-3849. Neighborhood Pride, Kettering Neighborhood Pride program honors residents and businesses who have made significant improvements to their homes or who have maintained their properties in impeccable condition year after year. To learn more or to nominate a neighbor, visit the city website at ketteringoh.org or call the volunteer office once again at 296-2433. And finally, we are searching for a volunteer, Mr. Robillard is, to fill an opening on the city's planning commission. Interesting residents can visit, yes, that's right, guess where? ketteringoh.org to download the application. So I think what we learned from that tonight is if you need anything from the city of Kettering, maybe go to ketteringoh.org and you'll find whatever you need there. And Your Honor, with your permission, I'd like to keep the floor for one more minute if I could, please. As Mr. Schwedeman stated, I've had about 35 years in local government service, and this evening is my last city council meeting. I would like to take this time to thank you, Mayor Patterson, and all the city council members for giving me the privilege of serving the residents of this great city for the last 18 years. I'd also like to express my gratitude to Mark for allowing me the honor to work side by side with the best city manager in the country every day to try and do what is right for this community. We worked on many economic development projects through the years. We won far more projects than we lost. But the greatest thing about working in Kettering is you get to work with the best of the best. And that starts with the mayor and city council and goes all the way down the line. I hope I made the city council, city employees, the residents and business owners proud with my words and actions throughout my career. My hope is I have had positive impact and I'm leaving the city a better place than I found it 18 years ago. I can honestly say Kettering is home to all the greatest things in life, and I thank all of you for the opportunity. Thank you.
I do have one question. Where am I going to get reading glasses when I forget my reading glasses now?
Your Honor, I don't know if you've seen them yet, but I did leave one pair on your desk.
Oh, thank you.
That's a true story. They're there.
I can't tell you the number of times I got here and went, oh crap, left my glasses at home. And knowing Greg uses the same black type reading glasses, he was a source for that. Greg, I'm going to wait till comments to get in to talking about you rather than just myself right now. So with that, any questions of Mr. Gorsuch?
I'll save mine.
Okay, next we'll move on to other business not on the agenda, audience participation. Anyone like to come speak before council, please come on down the podium. We do have a 5-minute limit. All right, we'll move into council committee comments. Vice Mayor Kleepaz.
Thank you, Your Honor. On Memorial Day, I was a representative for the city at a ceremony, a Memorial Day ceremony, over at the World War I Veterans Memorial, which is at Community Golf Course, right on the 18th hole. I know several of us that play at that golf course has probably put a few balls over in that area in their day. But because of that, there was honeysuckle growing all over the place and pretty much in disarray. You could hardly notice that there was a memorial there. And about 10 years ago, the Boy Scout troop 193 out of Good Shepherd Church here in Kettering took on that memorial as a project for themselves, and working with quite a few businesses this year and in the city of Dayton, and I'm sure some of Metro Parks, they have cleaned that area up, and it's a beautiful, beautiful memorial. The memorial has the names of 200 Dayton area veterans who fought in World War I. So I hope if you ever get a chance to get over there and take a look at that, it's a beautiful facility right here inside the city of Kettering at the golf course. On yesterday, I attended a ribbon cutting, but it was a virtual ribbon cutting for most folks who weren't invited. And I know the mayor was there, and he'll probably talk some about that. But what I like about it, and it's something the mayor mentioned, his last visit to a Demand Care Center, a Kettering Hospital or Kettering Kettering Health, the Demand Care Center. He had to go to Centerville for that. We didn't have one in Kettering, but now we do over at Town and Country. It's going to be a great asset for our city residents to have that facility there. So really thought that was great that happened. And of course, I always like to mention Shop Kettering, and one of the things I thought about yesterday and watching the ribbon cutting was the CEO of Kettering Health, Fred Mancher, talked about the fact that they weren't wearing masks there for this ceremony, but they would be when the clinic opened, because that was still happening. But vaccinate, 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 he said. Make sure you go out and get your vaccinations. And with that, and the amount of folks that we're having get their vaccinations, I thank Greg Gorsuch, because we have a lot of great restaurants and businesses in Kettering that he helped promote and get here, and they were all opening back up. We need to shop them because we're going to vaccinate, vaccinate, vaccinate. Last thing I want to mention, in congratulating Greg, is if you want to send Greg a thank you note, send it to ketteringoh.org. Greg, thanks for the time we've met each other, and I've worked on council with you, and you've been a pleasure to work with, a great asset for the city, and I know we're going to miss you. Thank you.
That's all I have. Mr. Lauder.
The only thing I would add would be to congratulate Greg again on your retirement. I've only had the pleasure of knowing you 8 years. I was always impressed from the first time I met you until even today. You have always conducted yourself in such a professional manner. They know more about the accolades of what you've done, but it's been my privilege to know you, and I wish you well in your retirement.
Ms. Fisher.
No report this evening, sir.
Mr. Dew.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just two things. It was mentioned that Kettering Leadership Academy applications are still, we're still looking for applicants. There is some room left. We're already interviewing, so if you're interested, get it in right away. I do want to comment that, first I want to thank Greg for all the work he's done, not only for the city, but probably for the last, I don't know, 15, 14 years. Greg has been part of teaching the Kettering Leadership Academy on our Economic Development Day. And the comments that have been made about his professionalism and his ethics and the work that he's done for this city certainly are relevant to his work here. I do want to remind him, though, that as a graduate of the Kettering Leadership Academy, there is an expectation that all graduates will continue in a continued form of volunteer service for this community. And again, as Tony mentioned, you can get that information online at ketteringoh.org. Enjoy the lake, Greg. We're going to miss you. Congratulations. Thanks for everything.
But was he in the best class?
He was in, I'll leave that for him to let us.
Well, it seems every time we go to the graduation, it's the best class. That's why I wonder.
He was in the best class ever. Yeah.
Mr. Wanamaker.
Thank you, Mayor Patterson. I would like to congratulate Maddie Westbelt again. The family lived right down the street from me, and I watched those kids grow up from little bitty toddlers to what you saw here tonight. And it's a great family. They're outstanding athletes and just a real asset to our community. And again, I want to congratulate Maddie on her award. Also, I'd like to congratulate Greg on his retirement and his boating life coming up, which I know all about that stuff. And I hope to see you at a Flyers game, so go Flyers, Greg. That's all, Your Honor.
Thank you. Just a few things here. As Tony talked about, Monday morning I had the opportunity to participate in a ribbon cutting to celebrate the opening of Kettering Health On Demand Center, which is in Town and Country right next to Orange Leaf Yogurt. And Tony had pointed out that Yes, I had used it twice. It's an unbelievable opportunity when you can't get in to see your family physician. My experience was I called, and then 20 minutes later I was down there and being seen. So it's the thing that's up and coming, and you'll see more and more. To get in to see your family doctor sometimes for just some small routine type thing, this will help. With Kettering Medical Center, if your doctor is in the network, it gets posted to my chart, and your doctor is sent a report of you visiting that site. So it's a great opportunity. Thank Fred, or thank the entire Kettering Health organization for inviting us. We had a good time. We had a little bit of kidding up there as well as a ribbon cutting, so it felt good to be back out and doing those type things. So congratulations to Kettering Health now. We have to get used to saying that. Also, Kettering Police Department welcomed Officer Timothy Kim this morning as he was sworn in as a patrol officer by Kettering Police Department Chief Protzman. Officer Kim comes to the Kettering Police Department from the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office. Congratulations to Officer Kim. Also to Maddie for her recognition in receiving the Gatorade Award. I like the fact that she was recognized in Ohio as the best. Also, as I said when she was here, that she plans to give back to her community. Excuse me, for, I don't know how old she is, probably now 17, 18 or so. For a person to have those type of goals and feelings that she wants to give back to her community are commendable, and she should be congratulated for those as well. Finally, to Supreme Court Justice Gorsuch. It's kind of a joke because he has a little sign on his desk behind him there, credenza behind him, saying Judge Gorsuch. So more people were able to pronounce his name once the Supreme Court nominee was announced, and they no longer butchered Greg's name. But I spent a lot of time in talking with Greg, and one of my things that I'll miss is as I walk by, ask him how many jobs he got me today. And sometimes they were serious, sometimes they would be, yeah, McDonald's is coming to town with 10 jobs. So I will miss those bannerings. Because as mayor, Greg has been there basically the entire time that I've been mayor, and it's been wonderful to watch somebody who is so concerned about the city of Kettering and the things we need as far as new businesses and grow, and we will miss that. The person that's replacing you has some big shoes to fill. I'm sure you will always be there to take that person's call and to work with them. You did a wonderful job. I think it was pointed out you were always up. You were always happy. I know, and putting up with Sweeterman, that had to be trying at times, but you kept a smile on your face and a positive attitude. We shared a number of times just sitting in your office and talking about absolutely nothing and having a good time, much like the mornings I spend at Panera with Mr. Klepaz, talking about nothing. You have a great sense of humor, and we appreciate that, and I enjoyed working with you. You will be missed by this entire city, excuse me, but more directly by the people that you've had the opportunity to share office space in the city manager's office. So, Greg, we wish you the best, wish you retirement and enjoying the boat and the things that you will do and work on now. So we hope you don't forget the city of Kettering. We hope, like Bruce says, you come back and volunteer and do some things. And with that, I wish you the best. So, all right, let me get my. So if there's no other business to come before us this evening, our next regularly scheduled meeting is on June 22nd. And with that, we stand adjourned.